Welcome back to A Perfect Perception, the podcast where it's okay to be selfish. I'm Tonja, and today I want to take you somewhere I went years ago that completely changed how I saw my life, and maybe it will awaken something for you as well. I had been to Jamaica before, right? I've been there before many times, as a matter of fact, but I always went to the same place, Montego Bay. Familiar resort, El Greco. Familiar routine, walking up and down Gloucester Avenue, hitting Margaritaville, hitting, there used to be in the back, there was a guy who owned a restaurant slash bar in the back, and it was like um, native owned. Most of the natives were the ones who went there, so that was pretty good. Now, Gloucester Avenue, anybody who's been to Jamaica, you know that it's called the Hip Strip. I don't know why, but it is. Everything about Montego Bay, don't get me wrong, was beautiful, but it was super predictable. Before Negril, my trip had like rhythm, okay? Wake up early, pack the car to take my kids camping, or we're going on a hotel stay, making sure everything was good, preparing all the food and snacks and packing everybody's clothes and all that kind of stuff because we did not do a lot of eating out at that time. Of course, the snacks and stuff were a must to take with me when you have children. Then off I would go, double checking to make sure I didn't forget anything. And guess what? Inevitably, most of the time, I did. I remember sitting at a hotel breakfast one time, just watching my boys eat, while I was looking out the window here and there and just kind of thinking about things. And I was thinking, this is really, really nice. Bill Figure. Judy was right there for me, but I never fully had the opportunity to enjoy it. It was about my boys having a good time after all. And at that time, that's all it was about. I was creating memories. And it's memories that they still talk about today. So job well done there. That's the part though I think we don't talk about. You can be somewhere gorgeous and still feel like you're on duty. Because I guess because you kind of are. And duty has a way of stealing the very thing you came for. It's I um, maybe not silence, but relaxation. Let's say that. Presence and relaxation. So, the grill was the first time I gave myself full permission to experience the place without managing it for anybody else. I didn't have no mental clipboards, um, no ideas about if everybody else was going to be okay, if they were okay. It was just about me. Ah, that alone changed everything. Then one day, I traded the familiar, like going to Small Bay, for something that felt like a whisper to my soul. Warm breezes rolling through open balcony doors. Of course, get up in the morning, gotta open those doors. Mornings where the ocean was the only voice I could hear, and evenings wrapped in a kind of silence that felt, I don't know, pensive? No, that's not a good word. That felt um, rejuvenating. Maybe that's a good word. It felt good. Made me feel good about my trip. That trip moved something in me. That trip did something for me. The first morning that I got there, I remember sitting on the balcony with my coffee, um, looking over out at the water, and the water was clear and blue. Um, the water was so clear and blue, it made me feel like that the calmness of that water and the calmness of the situation was just doing something for me, for my mind, clearing it. And in that moment, I realized something. I had been living a life where even my vacations weren't even mine. They were all about my family, doing couples things. They were all about responsibility. Every trip was still filled with responsibility. But this one, though, this one was mine. This one was all about me. The reflection was real. For the first time, my name was the only name, only one on that reservation. I was the sole guest. I didn't have no roommates to think about, no kids to think about, nobody else but me. That shift was more than a detail. Matter of fact, it was like a declaration for me. I belonged there because I chose it for me without having to think again about nobody else. It was just for me. And that kind of excitement was priceless. Honey. In that choice, though, I found a truth that still guides me to this day. Stepping outside of what I know as the norm, what is the usual for me, isn't just about changing your scenery. It's about changing the way you see yourself. It's giving yourself permission to experience the kind of beauty and ease you've always deserved without explanation and absolutely without apology. It did hit something deep inside me, that trip. It hit something deep inside me. It opened a door I didn't even know had been closed. A door that, a door to trying new places, um, taking new risks, and yes, falling in love all over again, but with myself this time. At that time, I was in a serious relationship with what is now my husband. I loved him dearly. I still love him to this day. But that was an eye opener for me to reignite the love that I used to have for myself before the children quit. So here's what that trip taught me, and what might just change the way you think about you, your travel, and the life that you're living from now on. So first, talking about familiarity. Familiarity isn't really freedom. I mean, it's the same old. You're just going to do the same things, see the same things, be the same person. So it's easy to stick to what you know. Yeah, I know that. But growth requires running away from the familiar and sliding into the unfamiliar. Game changer. Number two, that my first name on that door and me stepping into that suite where the reservation was only for me, nobody else was coming. Think about nobody else because sometimes the luxury that we should and can experience is mostly in knowing that the entire space that we have booked, that we are renting, that we are experiencing exists only to serve us at the time. And that suite was there for me. It was there to serve me. It was too big for me, and I didn't care. I was one person. It was too big, and I didn't care. I enjoyed every moment of my experience. And then number three, it made me lean into, y'all hear me talk about selfishness being sacred, right? But it made me lean really into that before I realized that's what I was leaning into. So when you choose you, the rest of your life feels richer, deeper, and you start to feel more alive, right? You feel more alive. When I think back to that tweet, I remember more than the view. I remember the moment I realized I didn't have to shrink my wants to fit somebody else's needs. I did not have to do that anymore. That it was okay. No, it was more than okay for me to want the best room, to want the best view, to want the most unbothered mornings, the ones that just have some time to focus on and love on you. We get so used to making practical choices. The rooms that are good enough, that's what we choose. The locations that are easy to get to. Why? Because we're thinking about other people. The experiences that are convenient. Boring. But here's the thing. Practical rarely transform you. Comfort zones might keep you safe, but they also keep you the same. If you're hearing this and thinking, I don't have time, I say you better get some time. Time was always the excuse I used anyway. Here's what I learned. When something is truly for you, time expands around it. Amazingly, you have more time than you thought. You start saying no to the three things that don't matter to say yes to the one that does. If you're thinking, this too much, I want you to ask yourself a better question than isn't this too much? Isn't it too little to keep living on half battery? Your battery's half charged? Mm-mm. And if your thought is that it is, hmm, no. If you're thinking that people will think that you've changed, the answer would be yes, because you have. What you're doing is pushing yourself to change the person that you become, thinking about everybody else, to pushing yourself to the point of the kind of change that benefits you, that allows you to be the benefit for you. Yeah. So Negril taught me that there's an entirely different world out there. There's a different version of yourself. And it's waiting in the places you've never been bold enough to book. The places that you haven't been bold enough to take yourself. And once you meet her or him, you won't go back. And you don't go back. That version doesn't even second guess whether they deserve the penthouse or whether they deserve the ocean view or whether they deserve that suite that they wanted to book, that butler suite or whatever. They just book it because they know the value isn't just in the stay. Remember, it's in who you become when you give yourself that kind of a yes for yourself. And the beauty of this is it doesn't have to be Negril. For you, it could be the Greek Isles. It could be Switzerland. It could be Israel. It could be France. It could be Italy. For you, it could be a private villa in St. Barth, a suite aboard a luxury or ultra luxury cruise ship where every detail is handled before you can even think to ask. The location matters less than the decision to put yourself at the center of it. From that trip in the grill, I didn't just come home with pictures. I came home with a shift, a knowing, a new being even, that I could choose differently now. My kids weren't out the house yet. They're on their way, but they weren't gone yet. When you spent years putting everyone else first, you almost forget what your own yes feels like. And when it finally comes out, it's awkward at first. Like you don't even know what to do with yourself. Like speaking in a different language, um, or speaking in something like, okay, you learned Spanish like years ago, but you hadn't used it, and so it's like speaking something you hadn't spoken in years. But the more you say things, the more you say that yes to yourself, the more natural it starts to feel. So here's my thing, especially for us who have taken so much of our lives and given so much of it to everything and everybody else. I want you to take this moment. Like close your eyes just for a second. Now if you're driving, keep your eyes open, but take this ride with me. Take the ride with me. It's so important. Picture the place that's been that you've been thinking about, that you've been longing to visit. Maybe it's a coastline you've seen in pictures or a quiet Caribbean destination where the mornings are slow and everything is all about you. Maybe it's Europe and you just want to go trekking from country to country, France to Italy to wherever you want to go and trek from country to country. Maybe that's your thing. Um, see yourself in that suite. See yourself seeing how the sunlight eases its way through the window, the way the sheets feel so soft and inviting, how they hug your body when you slide in for a nap after lunch. Why not? This is all about you. I want you to hear the sounds that greet you in the morning. Waves crashing, birds singing, but still there's an absolute silence. It's different. It hits differently when you're in a place like this. I want you to see yourself sitting there. You don't have anything to coordinate for anyone else, or we're not doing that. There's no explaining what the heck's going on, no adjusting your schedule so that you can fit whatever somebody else wants you to do into your schedule. Just receiving, just being. Now ask yourself one question. What part of me finds itself awakened in this kind of thing? What part of me? How do I feel putting myself in this kind of thing? That answer is why this matters. So keep in mind that selfish isn't just about where you go. No, it's about how you show up in your life when you get to wherever it is you're going, when you're doing whatever it is that you decide that you want to do. There's no asking, is this too much? Doing too much? Am I doing too much? Am I being considerate? Because I'm going to tell you right now, the answer to that is no. But what it is it's time for you to start asking, does this make me feel alive? Do I feel awakened? Or something awakened in me? Do I feel seen? Not by everybody else, but finally by you. Do you feel seen by you while you're doing things for you? Here's the real gift in this, in all of this. Here's the real gift, something that you will enjoy. When you choose you fully and unapologetically, you start bringing a different version of you back to the people that you love. You bring a new, actually, maybe I shouldn't say a new version. You bring, well, maybe it is. Maybe it's a new version for you, or maybe it's a version that you lost along the way. So either way, you're bringing something new back to the people you love. So just take some time. Start slow. Take your time. Start slow. One, just first thing you can do is block out like a couple of hours on your calendar. Don't label it with anything. Just protect it as you do your children. And with that, in that couple of hours, reflect on and do some things that are all about you. Two, choose one upgrade in your week. Just one. If you want to sleep in a little bit, do that. If it's a meal that you want, and not have to think about anybody else, do that. There's just a little bit of space that will help you to start getting used to reflecting on you and doing a few things a little selfishly. Purely, purely, purely do these things for how they make you feel. And justify them to anybody. Because the only justification that you need when you're doing this is justification from yourself. Okay. And then number three, say no. Say no to at least one thing you normally be doing out of habit. Somebody else. Notice what opens up in the space you create. When you start deleting something you would be doing for somebody else and putting yourself in that place so that you can do something for you. Make sure that you're doing something for you. So if you're thinking in this too much, you're back to that, you're back to that, step away from it. It's really not too much. What we're doing is realizing that our kids don't need us as much as they used to. Right? We're realizing that those same sacrifices that we used to make for our families don't have to be made for them as much anymore. Now we can redirect our focus. Redirecting your focus to you, to your mental health, to your well-being, to making this part of your life the best part of your life is not a bad thing. So I'm going to say there is nothing wrong with being selfish because selfish is not reckless. No, we're going to ixnay that stigma that's been attached to being selfish. We're doing selfish in a different way. Selfish for us right now, in this space, where we're headed, selfish is sacred. All right, y'all. My name is Tonja. This has been A Perfect Perception. The podcast is okay to be selfish. I will see y'all again next Thursday.